Hello, Spencer. It's been a long time since I've been able to see you or really anyone in your family or practically anyone else in the world. We are going to do lessons in this new way. Your mom's probably told you, but I'm going to just do an online lesson where I talk with you and show you what I want you to do and complete. And then, of course, you'll work on it at home. And then next week, I'll do the same. We're just going to do that through the end of May, so that we can keep you going and help you keep working on those skills that you were already doing so well with, okay? So we're going to move ahead. I believe I have the right page numbers for where you were going to be focusing next, so that's what we'll do. So we're going to start today in your lesson book, and we're going to go ahead and go, I think we did this clock song, I can't recall for sure, so we're going to go ahead and move on to When the Saints Go Marching In. And I cannot even recall, now I'm worrying that we might have done that. But anyway, we'll just do it. And if you have already done it, go ahead and try looking at this next page. Okay, so as per normal, we are in the C position. And let's just take a look. I know it's kind of blurry when I pull this up here, not a high quality webcam, but it'll do the job. Okay, so in the C position, when we look at our left hand, you're going to see that we have thirds that we've talked about previously and seconds, back to thirds and seconds. So that's what our left hand is doing other than when it has the individual notes, okay? And then our right hand, of course, you can read through that more easily. It's not going to have any of those chords. Notice and remember here when we play that, and then it's got this long holding note that extends over to the same note on the next measure, that's a tie, right? So we'll hold this 1, 2, 3, 4, tie, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and there's another tie. Well, there's two more ties in the piece, so let's just notice all those right at once. We've got this one right here. It's an F, and it's going to be held over to this F on the next line. This one, of course, only holds for 3 counts because it's that half note with the dot. We call it again a dotted half note, and it gets 3 counts. So we'll hold it 1, or well, this count gets 1, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's our tie, and our final tie is right here with this middle C on the last 2 measures. So we play it, of course, middle C, 1, 2, 3, 4, tie, off, because that's our very last note in this measure. It doesn't have 4 in this measure because the remaining 3 counts of that measure are up in what we call pickup notes, which happens often in music. We had it actually over here in the clock as well. As long as the last measure and the first measure together equal 4 counts, then we're safe, we're good. That's how music works. And anytime that the first measure doesn't have a complete amount of the counts in it, again, that's called pickup notes or a pickup measure, okay? All right, so we're also going to have some staccatos in here, some rests in between our staccatos and so forth. You'll know this song, When the Saints Go Marching In, so it will sound familiar. And up here, notice it also says march time, so it just means a very steady beat and not a light, gentle beat either. Okay? All right, so very first, I want you to put your hands now on the C position and get ready for this piece. We're going to take a look at our first 2 measures, all right? And let's just notice what's happening here in the right hand and then what's happening in the left hand. We'll find that they're actually an exact repeat of one another. So I'm putting my hands on the keyboard, and I'm going to go ahead. First I'm looking with my eyes to see what those notes are, and I notice I'm starting with my thumb on middle C, and then I have a skip to E, and then it's right next door going to F, and then right next door again to G, okay? And so I'm now going to play that. Okay, so I just did the first 2 measures, but just of course of the right hand alone. All right, now let's look at that second measure. Well, actually, let's have you pause now and you go ahead and play that yourself. Okay, so you play Oh, When the Saints. Okay, now hopefully you've played that. Now play it with me. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, off. Okay, Now, second measure, our left hand has a rest, and then on the count 2, it plays the same thing, starting with fifth finger on C. Rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, off. Okay? So let's try that left hand now. You play it with me. We'll go a little bit slower, actually. Ready and rest. 2, 3, 4, off. Okay? All right, now I want you to start at the beginning, and I'm going to play, and you can play along with me, and then you can pause the video and play it a couple of times yourself. So what we're going to do is we're going to play all the way through. We're going to play, if you'll notice it repeats. So let me bring this up here again, actually, so I can show you where I want you to go through. We're now going to play, let's get this in focus. Oh, when the saints, da, 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 go marching in, da, 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 da. We'll go that far, okay? All right, so hands on C position. We're going to go nice and slow. We'll speed up and go the regular tempo in a little bit. Okay, 1, 2, ready, and play. Okay, so I didn't bring the right hand in on that second line, of course. I just held that G. Now I want you to pause the video, and I want you to practice that much several times, okay, so that you get feeling really comfortable. Make sure when you are doing it and you are practicing, get this back in, that of course when you have those whole notes, they're not just playing and then lifting off the keyboard while your other hand plays, but they're holding underneath whatever else is happening. Okay, pause it, practice that several times. Okay, now we're going to go back into the same song, and we're going to practice that second line. And you'll notice that, as we mentioned already, we've got thirds in the left hand. So let's practice just the left hand there. We're in the C position, and it is our 1 and 3 that are playing those thirds to start out with. So let me play through it once, then I'm going to have you practice with me. So we have, this is the second measure on the second line. So we have rest, 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 second, 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 and I finished with that first note on the third line, okay? All right, now you try it with me. Okay, get your hand ready. We're going to play 1 and 3 on E and G, and they'll be staccato, so we're going to play 1, 2, 3, and rest. Play, 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 rest. Okay, now you pause it and play through that a couple of times till you feel very comfortable. Okay, now we're back and we're going to play the second line right hand where it says, oh, when the saints go marching in, and it holds it out, okay? Something you've already, you'll be able to read through it very easily, but I'll play it once for us. Here we go. Rest. Hold, 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 hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay? All right. So now let's have you try it with me, and then we'll have you pause again and do it a couple times on your own. Let's go nice and slow. I played at the tempo we'll play it when we're really comfortable. So slowing down, ready, and rest. Hold, hold, hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay, go ahead and pause. Practice that a couple of times and then come back. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and play that part, the second line, both hands together. Okay, try along with me, and then we'll have you pause and practice. So starting with second line, oh, when the saints. Here we go. I'm just going to start right where the right hand comes in. I'm not going to play that left hand the first note, okay? So here we go, ready and rest. Okay? All right, now you try playing it with me, and then we'll pause. Okay. 1, 2, ready. First arrest, rest. Okay, pause it and play that a couple of times. Okay, now that you're back, I want you to do this for me. I want you to play from the very beginning, both hands, down to that spot where we just ended, okay? I'm gonna play it, and you can play right along with me, and then pause it and play it a couple of times on your own, okay? All right, make sure this is on still. Okay, here we go. Ready, and... Okay, let's try that again, and then we'll have you do it on your own. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. Okay, pause and practice it several times till you feel comfortable. And you can do that, you can do this in little bits. You know, you can do the first part of this one day, and then you can come back to the video and do the last part of the song a different day if you want as well. You can just rewind the video and find that spot and continue on. So you're not necessarily having to do the whole song at one sitting. Okay, so you've now paused, and you're coming back to learn the rest of the song. And so let's put our hands back up on that C position. We're on the third line now, starting with the right hand. And in fact, I'm going to take my left hand off, and we're just going to do the right hand. We're starting with how I want to join that number. Let's practice just that line, okay? So we're starting on the third finger on E. So we'll start right on how. Okay, 1, 2. It starts on count 3. 1, 2. 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tie 2. Okay? All right, so that's playing. Now I want you to play that with me. We'll slow down a little bit. So starting again with how. Here we go. Ready, and 1, 2. 2. 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay? Pause it and practice a couple of times. Okay, now let's practice the left hand on that same line. This won't be hard for you. It's pretty easy and similar to what you've already done. So obviously the left hand, we're not going to play the very first note, which is that of the left hand. We've already learned that. We're going to play starting in the second measure, which is just those thirds again with E and G on our thumb and our third finger. And of course there's a rest right before it. So we'll start right there. So I'm going to count the rest as 1, and we'll play on beat 2. So ready, and rest. 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 1, 2, off. Okay? So just a reminder that is a half rest. So it's a rest for 2 counts. And then we have our staccatos coming in on count 3 and 4. Okay? All right. Try that with me. Okay? All right. So left hand only, third line, starting on how I want, right? The measure with want to in it. So we'll start with saying our rest. Here we go. 3, 4, rest. Okay. Rest, rest. Okay, pause and practice that a couple times. Okay, Now we're going to try that line both hands together. So both hands go up. We're starting with how I want. I'll play it through. You can play it right from the beginning here with me, or you can play it the second time I play through and then pause and practice. Here we go. 1, 2. Okay. All right. Let's try it together. Maybe a little slower. 3, 4. Okay, now you pause and practice that much till you feel really comfortable, and then push play. Okay, here's our last line, and you've already played something similar to this before. Well, I guess I'm looking back. I guess it's not exactly the same idea that we've had, so never mind to that. Let's do our right hand. That's the final line. When the saints go marching in. We start on the third finger with E. Okay, I'll play it through, and then you can join with me on the second time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tie off. Okay? All right, try that with me. Right hand, when the saints. Here we go. I'll count to 2 because the measure starts, of course, with 1, 2, and we come in on count 3. 1, 2. One, off. Okay, pause it and practice as much as you need to. Okay, now let's try that left hand. You'll know this one just fine. You're totally used to thirds and seconds with no problem, so this will be easy for you. Starting on the measure where it says saints go, right? So we have a beat 1 as a rest. So we'll give us that beat and then move on with our notes. So ready and 1, rest, rest, rest. Okay, try that again with me. Ready and rest, 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 rest. Rest. Okay. Practice some more if you need to. Feel free to pause it. If you're ready to go on, we'll now put that whole line together. All along, I should have been playing it slower when I was having you first put the lines together, so that's my bad. Just pause it and get comfortable playing it at a speed that feels good for you. Slow them down until you're able to play it at the speed that it should be played at, okay? So this time, we will correct that. We're gonna go quite slow on that final line, starting with our third finger on E for when the, right? 1, 2. Okay? All right, try that several times on your own. Just pausing the video and then come back. And I'm now going to, after that, I should say, then I'm going to play the whole song so you'll hear it all together. And again, you can divide up that song into 1 line a day if you want to, however you wish. Okay, here's the whole song. Okay, All right, keep working at that one. Let's go on now to your technique book. We're going to do page 7 here. C. In fact, let's just do, thinking out loud here, let's just do C this week, okay? All right, let's notice that our right hand and our left hand both starts on 1. And so the right hand's going in an upward motion while the left hand's going in a downward motion. And we call that contrary motion. Then on the second measure, they start on the 5. And they do the opposite. The right hand's kind of moving in a bit of a downward motion while the left hand's moving a little bit up. The only difference with this second line, we're playing the same notes except that B flat, which will be our third finger in both hands, or B will be a B flat is what I really meant to say, which is the third finger in both hands. Okay, so we'll lower that a half step down. So let's look again. So here's where that B in the right hand would be, and it will be the black key instead. And in the left hand, it would have been here, and we'll have it be there. Okay? Now, the other difference with this one is that we are not actually in the key of C. We're in the G position, okay? Which is, I'm trying to look back and see, yes, we have played in the G position. So just a reminder of where it's at. That's where your right hand would play, and the left hand is just right underneath on the lower G with your 5th finger. Okay, that's our spot for it, okay? All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go a little bit faster than I did on that last piece, but I'm going to play the right hand first line, and then I'm going to have you pause it and play it till you feel comfortable with that right hand first line. Then we'll do the same with the left hand on that first line, then we'll put them together, okay? So here is how it goes. It starts with the G, and it's skipping in thirds, and then it goes down 1 note and skips up a third. So I should say it's skipping up a third, then it goes to the very next door neighbor note and skips up a third, goes to the next door neighbor note, skips up a third, if that makes sense. Okay, so starting on our G, we have G, B, A, C, B, D, C, hold, D, B, C, A, B, G, A, hold. Okay, so go ahead and take what time you need to practice that. Okay, now when you feel like you've got that, come and try playing it with me. Here we go. Ready, and G, B, A, C, B, D, C, hold. D, B, C, A, B, G, A, hold. Okay. Practice that till you need to, until you feel you're good. Okay, I lied accidentally. This is not the position they want your left hand in. It is still the G position, but they want it 1 more octave down. So it's all the way down here. That's the place we'll be. When we've played that before, that's where we were on page 6 as well. Okay, left hand is going to start with our thumb on D. Okay, so this is how that left hand will sound. C, A, B, G, A, hold, G, B, A, C, B, D, C, hold. Okay, pause it and practice that line several times. Okay, play that line again, and then our time is kind of running out, so I'm going to go ahead and just move on. You practice separately all that you need to. But then we're going to play it together, right? So here's that line all together. And we're going to go nice and slow. You can play along with me, or you can listen and then practice several times on your own, or you can do both. Here we go. Ready, and. Okay, pause it and practice that a bunch, okay? All right, now moving on to the second line, which of course is all part of the same song, so there won't be a pause between the first line and the second line. But you're going to practice hands separately. But again, the only difference is now we have our third finger is going to be on the B flat in both hands. So it will sound just a little bit different. Here's the right hand. Okay, pause and practice that hand a bunch. Now here's the left hand. 2, 3, 4, off. Okay, now I'm just going to play the full song. You practice all those parts separately. Pause the video a whole bunch, as we've discussed many times now. All right, here's the whole piece. Ready, and. Okay, and it also has a repeat sign, and you'll probably notice that I used the dynamics that were listed as well. It starts out soft, then it builds and gets louder, and then it goes soft again. And then the next line also starts out soft and builds and gets louder, and then it also goes back down and gets soft. Okay, so that's page 7 in technique. All right, in recital, we're going to go on to page 6, fanfare and canon, okay? And we're only going to concentrate on, let me think here. Well, we're going to concentrate on these 2 lines, the first 2 lines, because then the second, let me double check, the second 2 lines are actually a repeat of the first 2 lines. The only difference is that your hands, both hands, move up 1 octave higher. So once you've got these first 2 lines learned, you've also got the second 2 lines learned, okay? So that will be what we'll work on for this week. And look, our left hand's so simple, it's tying throughout all of that whole first line. We played it once, and we just hold it down. Then we have a second right here, which goes into not a tie, but just a slurred, keeping it smooth, into a third, and a second into a third again. While our right hand, of course, has a different melody, okay? Another march tempo, so it's a little bit strong and so forth. Okay, from the very beginning, I'm just going to play that for you, okay? Just that first 2 lines, and then we'll practice. Here's how it sounds. Okay, that's the way it will sound. So left hand again, all we're doing is playing that C and G, holding it all the way out. Try that with me. Here we go. Ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, tie, 2, 3, 4, tie, 2, 3, 4, tie. Let's get ready and go on. And we have a second, 2, 3, 4 to a third, and rest. Now quiet. Second, 2, 3, 4 to a third, and rest. Okay, pause and practice that left hand so you're comfortable. Okay, now the right hand. We're going to just play that melody line. Starts with a half note, and it's nice and strong. So it starts with our C as well, okay? Sight read it with me. We're going to go slow. Notice whether we're skipping or whether we're stepping. Okay, here we go. Starting on the C. Ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, pause and practice that line several times. Now let's do the second line. It starts on our second finger on D. Now you'll notice we have a step. We're going to step and not just skips. We also have skips, but they're steps as well. So starting on the D, and we'll have a half note. Ready, and rest 4. Soft, and 1, 2, rest 4. Okay? All right. So pause that and practice those 2 lines, hands separately and then hands together till you feel comfortable. Once you've got that and feel comfortable, all you're going to do then is move from this C position to the upper C position, just right up above it. So our left hand is going to play where our right hand was, and the right hand just goes 1 octave up higher, and it's going to play the very same notes, okay? Oh, I'm almost right. It almost plays the very same notes. I'm wrong. How did I not notice that? Let me look one more time here. The right hand plays the same notes. The left hand plays a little bit differently. So let's actually look at the top of page 7, that line, and play just the left hand, okay? It's not hard, but we do want to learn that. So let me move my right hand. We still start out with our second, just like we did on the second line of the first page. We're playing it and it's nice and soft, but instead of going to a third, we stay on that second. And then we're going to have individual notes playing. So we play 1, 2, 3, 4, tie, 2, 3, 4. Then we play the E, hold, F, G, C, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you try that with me. Let's go nice and slow. Ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Tie, 2, 3, 4. Now E, hold. F, G, C, 2, 3, 4. Off. Pause and play that till you're comfortable. The right hand, again, is the same as the second line on page 6. So you do know it. When you're ready, try them together. This is how it will sound. I'm going to start with the bottom of page 6, which is where I've just moved my hands up, right? And I'll go into the top of page 7. Okay, here's how it sounds, starting out loud. Quiet. Okay, my eyes are obviously very blind because that is still not the very same, and even in the right hand, but it's so close. The right hand on the first page, second line, sounds like this. And we hold and rest, and then we just repeat that. Right? However, it was actually down here that it was to be played. Okay, but the second line, or the top line on page 7, is a little bit different, and I just didn't notice the rests in there. I don't know where my head was, but it sounds like this. Then we just repeat that same thing, and nope, it's not a repeat. I need some sleep. Okay, let me try that again. Here we go. And then we hold this C, 3, 4, and tie, 2, 3, 4, off. Sorry about that. It's not much different. I don't think you'll have a struggle playing it. One other thing to practice with this is just moving between this C position and up to this C position, and moving back. without playing a single thing. Just move and move back, because we're going to be moving back when we finish the song, which we won't do this week. Okay? So that's your other thing to practice. All right, that is your lesson for the week, Spencer. Best of luck.